We got our final day of First-Time Homebuyer University. Now, you're probably like, what is today even going to be about? I don't even know what today is going to be about. You probably already know because you read the title of the video. But let me just tell you, before we even get into it, you graduated. Oh my God, look, you get one of the little cheap cookies from Walmart. You graduated. Oh my God, you graduated. Yay. So I'm going to be explaining why now is actually a very good time to buy in Chicago. If you're looking to buy a home, I think you should stop sitting on your hands and actually go for it. Right now in Chicago, one of the most affordable big cities in the country, even though we have stabilized price increases. Our prices are always rising, and we're still one of the cheapest metros in the country. So what does that mean? Well, let's just start out by New York, Los Angeles, Seattle, San Francisco. They're too expensive. Right now, Chicago, our median home price is hovering over $300,000. You can't beat that anywhere else. You cannot. Here's what I'll tell you. If you're looking to buy, if you get off your hands and actually get into the market, get a pre-approval and go shopping, you'll realize that there are so many opportunities. If you just want a one-bed, one-bath condo, you can get one in Chicago for $60,000 to $125,000 easily. Do you know how good that is? If you go to New York and you want a condo like that, you're going to be paying out of the pocket. And that's before you even get to your taxes and insurance and your month. It's just too much. We are an affordable metro. No matter what anybody tells you, it's top tier. I'm telling you that. Now, they say that the mortgage rates are stabilizing. I don't know that I notice too much of that in my day-to-day life. I think that if you really want to talk about mortgage and interest rates, they are sky high. The thing that you have to do as a buyer is you have to be a proactive consumer when it comes to your credit profile. You need to clean it up and get it right so you can always qualify for the best rates possible. The interest rates that are just floating out there as topical numbers, those typically aren't the best rate you can get. What you need to do is improve yourself and your buyer profile so you're more appealing to banks who can give you rates, because banks want to give you money because they can leverage the money that they give you into their own money. So what you need to do is you need to figure out, how can I become an asset for banks so I can get lower rates? Because what they're advertising is just going to be the basic shit. You want to get into the numbers. You want to have the best criteria. You want to have the best interest rate. You want to have the best everything. And even if you get into a time where everything seems to be inflated or up or higher, in a place like Chicago, now's the time to get in, because if you wait any longer, it's going to become more and more and more and more expensive. If you get in now, you lock yourself in, you are getting into an asset that is only going to grow. Now you're probably like, okay, what does this mean for me? Well, if rates are just high right now, you need to get your credit together so then in a few years you could refinance. Or if you're not ready right now, yeah, you're going to pay a little more in a few years, but hey, that's okay. What you do is you just wait it out. Now, I will say, inventory is limited. Inventory sucks. Everybody wants to know what's going on with housing. Why can't anybody find a house? Yada, yada, yada. We have an inventory crisis. If you know somebody and they're looking to sell or rent, you need to get them to make the decision and pull the trigger, because we don't have enough homes in Chicago. And even by all of the people who have vacant houses, if they were to put them on the market, we still would not have enough housing for all the people in Chicago that need it. So we need to build more accessible and affordable housing. That's one of the most critical levers that we can pull as a society to make housing more affordable and accessible for every single person. Boom. I think that the thing that people are always scared to talk about is neighborhood selection. Now, I'm a realtor, so I don't think that I can actually recommend any particular neighborhood over another. But I think that when you're looking to buy in Chicago, everyone talks about how dangerous it is. When actually per capita, Chicago is one of the safer big cities to live in. I mean, so I think that when it comes to neighborhood, it comes to your personal preference. If you like a more communal vibe, a more community-based, tight-knit type community, you might be in one part of Chicago. If you like that you focus on schools and you want to make sure your kids are in certain school districts, you might focus on another part of Chicago. If you're somebody that really likes nightlife and you like to go out and have a good time, or you like to go to high-end restaurants, you might go to a certain part of Chicago. These are all different places that you can choose. Now, as a realtor, I know you're probably like, he's being super vague right now. I'm not going to be the one to say this is the better part of Chicago or that's the better part of Chicago or yada, yada, yada. In my personal opinion, I've lived as far south as Chicago Heights, and I've lived as far north as Evanston and Rogers Park. I've lived as far west as Oak Park and Austin. I think that every part of Chicago is beautiful. What I will say is, and this is going to be an example I want everybody to take to the grave. I've never been robbed. I've never walked into a grocery store that was getting robbed or people were getting mugged. I've never seen anything violent out here in Chicago. Yeah, you hear about shootings, your cousin dead, everybody know all those stories. But when I was in Dallas, I actually got my car stolen. Like, I think Chicago is a pretty safe place to be. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm not gonna push you. I'm not gonna steer you into any particular direction. But I think you have to really analyze like what you like and what you're looking for, so then you could find like a certain pocket of the city that actually fits what you're looking for. And then you also have to be open to experiencing other things, right? Like, you might have a part of the city that you've never been to before and you're not really that interested in going, but you might realize that the housing is cheaper and the neighborhood is actually something that you love, and you might know people out there, you might have family out there, and just because you haven't experienced it, you're kind of closed off to it. So you need to be open to experiencing other things in different parts of the city so you can have a more accurate vibe and assessment of what's actually going on in the community of the communities. But also, I don't think you should be following like, hold on, the lighting is kind of better over here. Y'all see that? Like, when I sit like right here, the lighting is better. But then when I go, am I just imagining that? I think I was just imagining that. When you strip all that down and you get real bare bones with it, Chicago is actually one of the most attractive big cities for first-time buyers. And it has been for decades. So you're probably like, why is this? Compared to other major metros, Chicago has a lot of opportunities in terms of work, opportunities for advancement, opportunities for career growth. Then you also have, Chicago does have a pretty high cost of living compared to the rest of Illinois. That is an important caveat. Illinois is a farm state. Illinois, outside of Cook County, is a relatively pricey state, but it's a farm state. So you have a lot of like more affordable things outside of Chicago. But Chicago is kind of pricey, but it's still one of the most affordable cities in terms of cost of living compared to all the other major metros in the country. First-time buyers still have entry-level pricing that you can't get out in New York, Los Angeles, Seattle. We are one of the most attractive metros out there. And outside of that, we still have a booming rental market, even though prices are rising, and that's actually not a bad thing. That's a signal of a healthy economy. Prices are rising, people can find places, we're still booming. And we still have affordable multifamily units for people who want to invest and want to go into house hacking. We still have those opportunities. They aren't dead. Chicago is like the Texas of big cities. Like, it's amazing, in my opinion. So, what do you think are my tips? What do you think that I should tell people if they really want to, buy in 2026? Get pre-approved. Get pre-approved before even talking to a realtor, because it gives you a little bit of leverage in the conversation. Realtors are always going to try to lead you. When you come prepared with a pre-approval, you get to be in control of your own destiny, and you get to understand your numbers. That's very important. You need to understand your full monthly budget, not just how much house you can afford, but how much house you can afford per month in comparison to your other monthly expenses. That is a very important point. You need to research neighborhoods that actually fit your lifestyle. You need to find something that suits you as a buyer, not me, not anybody else in your family. What do you like? Do you like bay windows? Do you hate bay windows? Do you need a big kitchen? Do you need a lot of cabinet space? Those are things that you need to consider. Do you want to go to a neighborhood that has block parties every month? Do you want to avoid neighborhoods that have block parties every month because you work late nights and you don't want to come home at 10 o'clock at night and find that you can't find a parking spot? Do you want to be in a community with multiple libraries and schools on every block? Or do you want to avoid that because you want to make sure you have parking between 3 and 5 p.m.? Those are all things to consider, and I'm not steering you in any particular direction. I don't have kids, but I know a lot of my friends do, so they might want certain things that I would completely avoid in my day-to-day life. So, you need to work with a real estate professional. I know people don't like to hear this, but in Illinois, we are a no attorney state. What does that mean? That means that if you are going into the home buying process without a professional to tell you you need an attorney, you might buy a home without an attorney and you might get screwed over. In one of the biggest, most bustling metros in the world for real estate, you do not want to be scammed, hurt, or harmed in the process of trying to buy a home. Work with the professional, get it done professionally, close with the professional, and leave happy with a smile on your face. And when I say professional, I'm not just talking about anybody with a license. Go to someone you know. Go to someone reputable. Go get advice. Go get second choices and second opinions. You need to talk to more than one person, but you also have to settle on one person. Because if you're getting too many opinions from too many different places, you will never survive. Boom. You need to be flexible and patient. In this market, it might take a full 60 to 90 days for you to find and close on a place. Are you ready? Can you stay in that? Can you go through that? So, yeah, boom. If your answer to everything that I just said is yeah, I got all that ready. In my humble personal opinion, I think that you're ready to buy, not even in Chicago. You could be ready to buy anywhere in America. But if you are ready to buy here in Chicago, you should probably reach out and call the number on the screen. That's 312-763-8103, because I think that we all need to be investing in real estate. Something that I always tell people is, if you're not buying or investing in real estate, you're leaving a big chunk of money on the table, because every time that you pay a landlord, you're just paying somebody else's mortgage. Oh, I don't want the responsibility. You locked into a year-long lease and you don't need a place to live for the next 80. Go ahead, buy a place and stop being afraid of commitment, because you're too grown for that. All right, I'll see y'all in the next one. I will see y'all in the next one. I'm going to have one more video come up today. I'm going to record it like literally right now, and it's going to be kind of short, so we don't have to worry about it. But I'm going to teach everybody like what it looks like if you have a $300,000 home. What would your monthly cost look like? Or, oh, no, I'm sorry. That was a lie. Oh my God, that was such a big lie. The next video is going to be how to pre-qualify yourself before getting pre-approved. How to find out how much house you can afford. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll be back. I got too many video ideas. I might even put up another video breaking down $300,000. What that look like? Because I think that we should. You need to know what your monthly payments look like. Okay, see y'all soon.